Today we are going to talk about one of my favorite topics in playing the saxophone, and that is altissimo. Although I have been studying and practicing altissimo pretty much since the beginning, I am still not 100% expert at it. But I've noticed that there are many videos and teachers on YouTube that are offering advice on altissimo, and I just wanted to throw in my ideas as well. Now, it doesn't really matter that much what kind of instrument you have, whether it's Yanakasawa or Selmer or Cannonball. Really what matters is the way you play it. And a lot of it has to do with the voicings inside your tongue, your throat, but another, I would say almost half of it has to do with your gear. And what I mean by gear is the reed, the mouthpiece, and maybe a tiny bit of fault on the ligature as well. The ligature wants to hold it on really tight, which aids altissimo, in my opinion. Now, the first thing we're going to do before playing these high notes is we're going to warm up. And I think that's an important subject all the time, anytime you play. This is a brand new reed. I haven't played it yet. So here's how I like to warm up. I'm going to start on a B natural, and then I go down in half steps, and I like to do a crescendo diminuendo, and I'm watching the tuner while I'm playing. So if you got a saxophone out, please try it with me. B natural and then B flat. We're going down chromatic notes. Now we've only gone halfway down, and already I'm noticing that this reed is asking a lot of breath from me, so I have to take a deeper breath. Okay, let's go start back on E flat to D. Okay, now that only took about a minute of time. Really, I should spend 4 or 5 minutes on this. Now, from the low B flat, we're going to do harmonics. Harmonics means that you play one fingering, but try to get many other tones in addition to that principal fingering. Okay, now the next note higher is a B flat, an octave higher, and all you got to do is just change your throat a tiny bit. Do not blow harder. Do not pinch the reed. Okay, the next harmonic is going to be our F, and I'm going to put the octave key down for that, but keep playing the low B flat fingering. Try to hit an F. That's it. When you find the note, keep exhaling. Try to get it to stick. Learn, teach yourself where the throat, the tongue, all these little differences, how much reed you got. Teach yourself where you're at to make the success. So inside the body, inside the throat, the neck, the tongue, what's going on is you're changing from low note, which is or like that, and a high note is or okay, a lot like singing, and there's something that's going on in here that brings the tongue up, and then the air shoots out at the proper speed. So with just that tiny bit of effort and knowledge, you should be able to get some altissimo notes. So now let's talk about fingerings. Well, the first and main fingering that you need to know, if you don't already, is the alternate F. Sometimes they call it altissimo F, sometimes they call it alternate F. I've seen this written down as the special key. I've even seen it called the Selmer key. Okay, it's that top button up here that you never touch. Then when you combine it with this C key, right, the second finger, in its normal location, then those two buttons plus the thumb key, of course. By the way, the thumb is always on for all these notes. All right, that's a high F, okay? That's a high F. You might be able to just start right on it. If it's difficult to start right on it, then go up to it from a lower note, such as a C. It was designed with that in mind. Like you're going to be playing a C and then an F. Another basic altissimo fingering that I want you to learn is the E natural, which is a half step lower than this note, yes. You've probably learned it by pressing the palm key over here, the second palm key over here, D, E flat key, and your high E key over here. And by pressing all three of these with the octave key, you should be able to get a high E. Okay, now the altissimo, we're going to take our F fingering and add on the third finger on the G key, the normal place, and that'll make it go down a half step. Okay, so I'm going to play F to E. After you can get those two fingerings, those two notes to come out predictably and clearly, then you're ready to go on to higher notes. Whenever I teach altissimo, I try to teach it like just one half step at a time. Don't try to climb all the way up to the top of the clouds on the first day. Regarding the notes that are higher than F, I break it down into what I call two paths. So we're going to discuss path 1 right now. Now that you've got the E and the F pretty stable, let's try F sharp. Now on the alto sax, we're going to keep the F fingering, right, that alternate fingering, and we're going to add on the B flat key. That should raise it up a half step to F sharp. See that? Okay. Back in the old days, that high F sharp key did not exist. This horn does not have a high F sharp key. And when it starts to get clear for you, start using that note as part of your routine and part of your practice. Like, what if I do this? Now we're going to go for G natural. Now G natural is one of the most fragile notes. Here we go. G natural, we've already got our F, we've got our F sharp right here. Now to go to G natural, we need to change the finger by trading this button for this button. Okay, so it's a trade. Now at first, if you're not clean with your fingering, it's going to bounce and then you're not going to get the proper harmonic that you seek. Really what's going on is we're changing from this pad closed for the F sharp, but then we open it by trading those two, and that gets you up to a G. So yes, you can accomplish the same thing by sliding your finger this way, and that will change it from F sharp to G also. The problem with this fingering, obviously, is that you really can't go back and forth very easily. Okay? But if you're having trouble getting a G at all, try this. Okay, so here we go. We're going to play F, F sharp, and then slide like this for G. Let's see if that works. Okay, now I'm noticing that I need to lift my reed slightly when I go to G natural, and that's partly to get it in tune, okay, mostly to get it in tune, but also to achieve the harmonic I want. So that brings up a whole new technique, doesn't it? In addition to the voicing, there's also a little bit of lifting that's going on with the reed, okay? So make sure you're taking enough mouthpiece so that you can blow enough air in here and yet also lift your reed. Now, double check yourself. Don't blow the house down with these notes, because that's not going to get you the results that you seek. Okay. In fact, let me go ahead and demonstrate some of the things you don't want to do. Okay. You don't want to take a small bite like this. Okay. Because that just doesn't allow the reed to wag, and then you don't get the harmonics that you're looking for. Also, don't take a gigantically deep bite either, because then it's too hard to control. Let me try to demonstrate that. See that? I've got so much reed in my mouth that I can't even find the proper vibration. My theory is that whenever you hear those sounds super high, it's because the reed has stopped vibrating and it's kind of like a straight, I don't know, I don't want to say it's like a straight edge, but it's just not vibrating at the right speed. And then of course there's the air speed or the air flow, right? It's not that much different than all the other notes. In fact, think of it kind of like your high C or your normal C up there. If you can play this note, the difference between the way that feels on your exhale and the altissimo's feel is very small. It's not much of a difference. I'm referring to the exhale. Okay. Now, let me try blowing it really hard like some people do, and let's see if I get any results. Okay, so risky. Okay, there's a definite risk there. Now, getting back to our fingerings. For G, I want you to get used to playing this fingering to this fingering back and forth rather than this back and forth, because it's way too difficult. Okay, so let's do a G major scale, and we're going to use F sharp G when we get there. Starting on that high G is pretty risky. It's a hard note to hit from a cold start. Now, continuing on with path number one. To go to a G sharp, I simply lift that up. And now it's should go up another half step. So really I got nothing except first finger and the B flat key, and that's all. But again, very difficult to start on this note. So let me go up to it from an E natural and see if I can do it. Okay, I missed it the first time, probably because I was running out of breath and I was squeezing the reed. So let's try this again. We're going to go E and go up to G sharp if possible. Okay. Now, another tip is that you want to try to get some success, okay? And you're probably going to get some success faster by slurring these fingerings up or down rather than tonguing them. Likewise, don't worry about starting right on the highest note. Instead, climb up to it gradually. Now, yes, that means you got to get good at playing these fingerings. So if your easiest, best note right now is a D natural, for example, start on a D natural, okay? And then climb up with the fingerings I just showed you. In path number 1, some people can get a high A, but I struggle with that one. And the way to do the high A was you change from the B flat key to the alternate C key. Okay, so you literally slide your hand upward to that next side key. B flat key, side C key. And if it remains stable, you should be able to get a high A out of this. Let's try it starting from an F natural, see if I can do it or not. Okay, I got it, and I surprised myself because I don't usually use that fingering, and I'm just glad it came out. Let me try going up and down and see if I can do it. Ah, I missed it. Hard to repeat. Okay, and again, I'm noticing that I need to lift the reed up just the right amount for that A natural to come out. Okay, that's a pretty rare moment for me to get those.